Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to take a little look back, a trip down memory lane, if you will, to a unit that released almost exactly a year ago, right? This is the Tanabata unit from last year, which is the LR VEGETA and TRUNKS. Obviously on screen we're seeing the God Goku entrance animation, but VEGETA and TRUNKS will be coming up next. I thought it'd be worth taking a look at this unit again, not just because they are a year old. 30th of June obviously was their release date on JP, and then of course Global gets the Tanabata celebration as the thank you celebration in November, so they released on the 28th of November, so they're not really that old on Global, right? We're looking at, what, 7 months in a couple of days? But there's two reasons that I wanted to highlight them again here. So the first one is the fact that, you know, they are nearing a year old, so interesting to take a look back and see. Well, I say a look back, take a look now and see how good they are, like, nowadays in the game. But the other thing that I thought would be most important is, for Global, we have the anniversary coming up very soon, and I mentioned this in one of the videos I've done talking about the stuff coming up for the anniversary, that this is one of the units that both of the anniversary LRs are on their 200% leader skill. Because obviously every Vegeta and Trunks, Vegeta and Goku unit pretty much is on Bond of Parent and Child. Well, all of the ones of them together are, because by that point, there are some Vegetas that get left off, right? Whereas I think pretty much every Goku is on there. So by the time we get to the point in the show or the movies where we're actually getting like Goku and Vegeta together, then they are on Bond of Parent and Child. And then the extra 30% for these guys is Battle of Fate, which of course, if you're not aware of exactly how that works, is all the characters, good or bad, from the final fights of the sagas, so it doesn't include the movies. It's basically the anime version of movie bosses and movie heroes, essentially. So what this means is, whenever they release a new, like, Namek Goku, a new standalone Super Saiyan 2 Gohan that defeated Cell, like, those units will be on this team. Bond of Parent and Child is one of the best categories in the game, just because of the sheer number of characters that are on there. Battle of Fate as the extra 30% isn't necessarily the best, right? Because it is limited to some specific fights. But for the 170, I mean, you just have a ton of these great characters. Like, for the 200% lead on this team, we have the Physical God Goku, we have the AGL Gohan. I think everybody else is only getting the 170. But some of these units, I really like using Super Saiyan 3 Bardock as a support. Vegeta and Trunks, they're not power beyond Super Saiyan, are they? Because for some reason, Dokkan doesn't like to recognize Trunks from this moment, or Rage Trunks, or whatever you want to call, like, the various different forms. Only ever recognizes him as a Super Saiyan 1. So maybe Bardock was probably not the best choice. I mean, on the rotations where, in fact, to be honest, I'm going to be running the rotations like this, right? We're going to have Vegeta and Trunks, and then God Goku, and then the other rotation is going to be Vegeta and Trunks, and then Gohan, and they are both on Power Beyond Super Saiyan, so that does give Bardock the opportunity to shine. So they start out at 227k defense. I'll go over a quick refresher, I guess, right? So they're 18 key super. They infinitely stack attack and defense. So you want to try and make sure you're getting their 18 key. Their 12 key only raises for 1 turn. They do get a bunch of additionals from their passive. So they get their entrance animation. You get 2 key, 70% defense, and guard for 5 turns. And you get that when there's another Bond of Parent and Child ally attacking in the same turn, which, you know, pretty much always going to be the case, right? 2 key, attack and defense 140, launch an additional attack that has a medium chance to become a super, additional key 1 up to 5, defense 15 up to 75, and chance to crit 7% up to 35 with each attack received, and then they get an additional 70% attack and defense and guaranteed guard as the first attacker of the turn. So one of the things that people always, like, disliked about them, I say, like, not everyone obviously, but people disliked about them, is that they are essentially locked to slot 1, right? Because that's where they get their guard, and in these more difficult fights, like, you're bringing them on the team to be a defensive unit, you want them to have that guard. But one of the things that I think a lot of people do forget is that part of their entrance animation, they get guard for 5 turns. So, for example, one of the units we're using on the team is the God Goku. He is quite orb hungry, right? You want to get those 6 orbs so he gets his guaranteed additional, gets his guard, all that good stuff. But, you know, what if the orb changing makes it so that he can only get 6 orbs if you put him in slot 1? Well, Vegeta and Trunks have guard for the first 5 turns. Now, they do get a fairly significant buff, right? They get the 70% extra attack and defense when they're in slot 1 as well. So that is obviously something to consider, right? Like, they are going to have lower numbers both offensively and defensively if you put them in slot 2 or slot 3 if you have to float them off, right, depending on your starting rotations. But they can still guard for those early turns, which I think some people do forget, right? So I've got the STR Carnival Goku. What's the bet? What's the bet he's going to get super attacked here? This is a good rotation for these guys, of course, having their full link set active. And then these guys link up super well with Gohan, right? 5 out of the 7 links active here. And we can... Yep, there we go. There was no attacks in slot 1, so we couldn't build up any ki, but we're fine here. And then we'll do this. And then... Yeah, I'll do this. I want to save all those physical orbs at the side there, because then depending on how the orbs change next turn, if we get a next turn, then we're going to be looking good. So these guys, 6.6. Now bear in mind, this is the other rotation. This is their first attack, and there's no support on the rotation that supports attack. One of the things I would often see people criticize about these guys is that they do really bad damage, which, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, nowadays, we're kind of at the stage where some Dokkan Fest LRs are dropping like 10 mil plus on turn 1. But those units are not also like guarding in slot 1 and all this kind of stuff, right? So units have to have a mix of these different abilities, right? If a unit is a defensive unit, then we don't expect them to drop like a 10 million attack stat on turn 1. But these guys obviously can build up a little bit. Their team gives them so many options for support. And it's the thing about these units, and I think one of the reasons why these guys were heralded as being so good when they first came out, is Dokkan, especially when it comes to the more difficult content, absolutely cries out for really good slot 1 units, right? So, can I even... Actually, I suppose I don't actually even need to get the guard, do I? Because we're fighting an int enemy, so... yeah, we'll just do this, and then... Get 6. Well, I might as well get the 5, get the type orbs. But yeah, so them being a slot 1 unit is super good. And again, I come back to the anniversary LRs that are going to release very soon. Both of those units, ideally at least on their first turn, don't want to be in slot 1. Right? The Boo Duo infinitely stack defense. So once you get to a certain point, they will have enough defense that they could comfortably be put in slot 1. But probably not on turn 1, potentially not even turn 2, right? And then the GT Duo, they do build up damage reduction, but they don't stack defense. So at the start of the turn, even if you have built up the full 50% damage reduction, they're not going to be sat at like, you know, 700k defense or whatever. They get all of their defense from doing their super attacks. So obviously I will make a video when the anniversary units are out on Global, but I definitely want to take a look at making the team so that we are running double Vegeta and Trunks, and then we run the rotations very similarly to what we're doing in this video, but where we just have the... do I want to leave you there? You share 3 links with you. What do you share with you? Is it the same 3? Because... I guess let's see the difference here in terms of the attack. I mean, I guess we're not really going to get much build up here anyway, so I suppose it doesn't matter. Missing the 18 ki with them is a little bit disappointing, but unfortunately this one on the off rotation, I think both turns in a row, hasn't really been able to receive many attacks to get their ki built up, which is unfortunate. The other thing to bear in mind as well, their other 170 lead is Future Saga, which is a category that hasn't really seen a huge amount of buffs. We got some extreme side buffs, right, with the LR Fusion Zamasu, who is the only like Goku Black or Zamasu variant units that are on these guys' 200% leader skill, because Fusion Zamasu is on Battle of Fate, but normal Goku Black, normal Zamasu are not. So, you know, at some point we are going to, whether it's going to be the theme of the worldwide, whether, like, who knows, we are going to get a future celebration at some point, right? We need a new standalone Vegeta Blue. Realistically, we need a new Goku Black or a new Zamasu. New Sword of Hope Trunks, whilst it's not my favourite moment, would be a cool new unit to get. There are so many units that need to Easy A from that like set of units, right? AGL, Zamasu and Tech Trunks, in Goku Black. There's just tons of units that would really benefit from there being another Future Saga celebration. And so, of course, when that does happen, all of these guys are going to be on the Vegeta and Trunks team to a certain extent. Whether they're getting the full 200% leader skill or not is a different story. But that just adds on to, like, because remember, units like Vegeta, if we get a standalone Vegeta Blue, he's not on Bond of Parent and Child, but he's on Future Saga, so he'll be on these guys' team. And in fact, wait, Vegeta Blue, he fights Fusion Zamasu. Is he on Battle of Fate? I should double check that. Because I'm assuming they mean like the final battle against Fusion Zamasu, but Vegeta Blue does fight Fusion Zamasu. I've actually not double checked that before. Yeah, so Vegeta Blue from Dokkan is on Battle of Fate. So if they bring out a new standalone Vegeta Blue, or they bring out a Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegeta, although I guess they would be on Bond of Parent and Child anyway, but they'll be on this team, but they'll get the full 200% leader skill because Vegeta Blue is on Battle of Fate. So that could be very, very good. Now, I definitely took a risk on this turn. I don't know what's going to happen to Carnival Goku in slot 3 if Cell decides to super attack him. But, I mean, we've been having a pretty good run so far. God Goku absolutely going ham. I got my God Goku to 90%. I got very, very lucky for same day. So, get double super? Did I get 24 key with him? I actually can't remember. But if you get 24 key, you get a guaranteed additional. My Carnival Goku is only 69% though. So, I'm desperately waiting for them to finally do another solo Carnival LR banner so that he can come back and I can actually get some more copies of him. But 366, and then we tank the normals to double digits. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, he's fully built up. Actually, how long ago was he fully built up? Is that going to be enough hits to get his active skill and potentially the Scouter? That'd be pretty cool if that was the case. And yes, now we can get the active skill. Oh my god. Dare I? Go on. Alright, anyway, let's we're here to see Vegeta and Trunks, so let's go ahead and look at the active skill. So it can be activated when all allies attacking in the same turn are Future Saga starting from turn 3, which is pretty cool. If you have those allies on the team, you can do it nice and early. Or when HP is 50% or less from turn 5, and it massively raises attack temporarily, does ultimate damage to the enemy, and within the turn activated, all attacks become crits, and it raises all allies' defense by 20%. So that is really, really good. I mean, we're going to kill him on this turn, so do I really need the defensive buff? Probably not. Although if I transform with Gohan, which I do kind of want to do, then he'll heal from all the orbs, and then we won't be able to do the active skill on a later turn. I guess I'll do it just so we can get it into the video now, right? Because if we can't do it later, I'll get annoyed.
I will not give up, ever. That's the spirit, Trunks. May my strength be a shield for this world and for all of humanity. I'm putting all of our hope into this one.
Well, I do love the fact that the random soldiers are there. They show all the important people that Trunks is trying to protect, and then they just show those two like random soldier guys. So I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, there we go. So we get the crit, obviously, guaranteed crit on the active. Active skill attacks that have guaranteed crit are obviously very good. And remember that these guys, as long as you're getting 18 key supers for them, they are infinitely stacking attack as well. So the more you are able to stack with them, then obviously the better it's going to be, right? So I'll skip it this time, I suppose, right? Because I want to do it this turn to get the buff. So let's see. What are we looking like in terms of defense? And we're going to be getting attack support from Bardock. So this should be a pretty good turn for these guys. They share, what is it, 3 links with God Goku. So it's not the best rotation, right, them and God Goku together. But I do like this rotation. So if I do this, their start of turn defense is 541k. And that's with guard. And then we've got God Goku sat there at 500k. He's going to get guard because we got the orbs. So we'll grab these. I don't think we die here because Cell super attacks in slot 1 a lot. 500k with guard. Yeah, 86k. And that physical cell, not only is he type disadvantage, he hits pretty hard. And remember that these guys just get more defense as they super. So they get their super attack. The additional from the passive, unfortunately, wasn't a super. And then you have the potential to get the hidden potential as well. So they can super 3 times in one turn. Now, the 12 key supers, as I said at the start, only raise their defense for 1 turn. But obviously that makes them pretty damn tanky after they've gotten their attacks off. And then this attack support from Bardock on the end here, just allowing these guys to go crazy. God Goku gets his additional and takes out the cell here. And we managed to maintain our HP. Oh, look at this. This run has been absolutely incredible. Look at these dudes. Alright, so we are going to do these, right? Because when do I ever get to do these? So we got the Carnival Goku active skill. Very rare that you ever get this, right? Because you have to get hit 10 times and it from turn 5. Massively raise attack temporarily. Ultimate damage to the enemy. All attacks become crits. All allies key 5. And look at this rotation where we have all LRs. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty good. I do like this active skill as well. It's nothing like, you know, super crazy. It's pretty basic, but I do like it. Also, it's one of the ones I think the English dub is pretty good. Even though it is just Goku shouting, "Now!" I think it's pretty good. So, yeah, we get the crit. Look at that. Boom. Everyone gets the extra key. And then, obviously, we have to get this in here. I just realised I should have picked up the orbs with Vegeta and Trunks first, but... Oh, wow, that was shockingly bad. Well, actually, I guess if I grab these to get these to drop down a bit more. Alright, so that gives me 7. That gives me 9. Alright, we'll do that. And then what defense are we on for... So Carnival Goku's at 333. Considering he raises defense on Super as well, and only has 1 dupe, that's pretty good. Gohan at the start of turn, after transforming, has 418k. Did these guys get defense lowered on the previous turn? 295k. Seems low. Am I missing something? 295, and they're getting support from Goku. Oh, this is the one that didn't get hit a bunch, right? So I think they actually still need to build up. We'll see when the icons come up when they get attacked. But they are going to eat the super in slot 1. I wonder how much they take from this, actually. They did get hit first, which is good. We get a bit of extra defense here. Yeah, so he's still 210k. I actually can't believe that we got all the way to the end without them taking really any attacks. So I guess that is the one downside to them, right? You do need to make sure they actually get hit and get their passive to get built up. And depending on where the enemy attacks are and how powerful your team is, I guess you can sometimes get stuck. Because even now, we're still getting... There we go. Now they're fully built up. And then Gohan just coming in with a 20 million attack. Not great for him because, you know, he only got 9 orbs, but 20 million, I guess we'll take it, right? And then 16 mil on the additional. I love the fact that he can get these additionals easier now because I've always really loved his transformed 12 key super, but you just never ever got to see it. But yeah, there you go. So, I mean, Vegeta and Trunks, they're still very, very good, and they lead a team that is incredibly good. Both the Anniversary LRs are going to be on their full 200% leader skill, so I think these guys absolutely still deserve to be considered one of the top tier units in the game. It's not just their performance, right, the leader skill. The active skill, the fact that it buffs everybody's defense as well, is like something that I don't really see people ever talk about, which is really good. Because they are a solid defensive unit, but giving everybody else on the rotation an extra 20% defense is actually really good as well. So I've always been a big fan of this unit. I'm looking forward to running them with the Anniversary LRs. Let me know what you guys think of them down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.